Welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today, we're reviewing the Atomic Bent 85. Now, I've got the 2024 version here. If you look in the background, you can see the 2025 version. I actually ordered one online and it took so long to get here that I had a babysitter for the last bonus day at Bogus Basin. And because those didn't get here in time, I bought these at a local shop. They're about the same. There's no difference. It's just a top sheet, so I'll probably try to figure out how to sell that one back there. But yeah, let's just jump right into the review. Now, I paid for these skis out of pocket, so I'm not sponsored by Atomic or anyone else. If you want to support that kind of independent review, I will have an affiliate link down below. I ski these in a 175, which means they have a 17.6 meter turn radius. They have, as the name suggests, a waist width of 85 millimeters. It's hard to see it with the bindings, but these have a pretty aggressive camber to them. Not a lot, but it's definitely there. These typically retail for $450, although right now you can buy these in the 2025 graphic for $314.97 in pretty much every size right now. Or if you're able to find this graphic, there's not a lot of sizes, but right now these are on sale for $244.99. I'll have links down below like I mentioned before. In the 170 length, these weigh in without bindings at 1,750 grams. I would guess these are probably closer to 1,850 in the 175. And as far as I know, 175 is the longest length you can buy, so that's what I reviewed it in. All right, now that we've got logistics covered, let's talk about how these skis actually felt on snow. Because, you know, you can put any metrics you want on a spreadsheet, but at the end of the day, what you really care about is how did these actually handle when ski meets snow? Well, my first impression with these, honestly, is they really cut everything as basic as possible. Now, that kind of makes sense with the low cost, right? MSRP is $450. You're seeing these, what did I say? You can pick them up for under $315, so it kind of makes sense. But man, they really got this down as bare bones as possible. Now, I mean, full disclosure, I think a lot of people looking at the Bent 88 are freestyle skiers. It's for somebody's first pair of skis. It's for somebody with a kid who's just going to beat the heck out of them. It makes sense. They may not need some of those other features, but let's just cover really quick what you're missing compared to the Bent 90. First off, you're missing the Horizon Tech, which can't be that expensive because the Bent 90 manages to be under $400 on sale and still have it. But yeah, this has none of the Horizon Tech. It really doesn't give you much width on the tips like the Bent 90s do, so you're missing a lot of that. There's really not much of a platform to carve on here. This really is kind of the most basic Atomic Bent ski you can buy. I think in my notes I had something like the Amazon basics of the Bent line. The other first impression I had is this is really fun. It's fun in the trees, it's good for short mogul turns, it's fun in kind of smearing skiing where you're washing out your turns. There is fun to be had on these, but I think when you look at value, this sits in kind of a weird spot. But we'll talk more specifics. But yeah, my first impression was, wow, they really cut everything out of here that could be cut. Also, skiing and spring skiing, going off trail, I did find myself having a lot of fun. So there's something here for people. Now let's talk about the good, and then we'll talk about some of the drawbacks. So the first thing is, like I said, they're really fun in the trees. They're really good for kind of quick washed out turns. As long as you don't have to stand on this thing for too long, you can have a lot of fun with it. It's nothing crazy good, but a solid enough platform when you do finally get it on edge. The other thing that is really positive about it that you have to give this ski credit for, it is phenomenally priced. I mean, right now you can get it for $315. Even at full price, you're paying $450. That's a fraction of the cost of other skis. It's so aggressively priced, it could make a great platform or a great first ski for a lot of people who are just starting to get into the sport. And I am impressed that the ski manages to have decent stiffness. When you get it on edge, it holds okay. It's nothing to write home about, but at least it's giving you a solid platform. For this price, I don't know, I was decently surprised by that. I also found when they're mounted one click back, they were surprisingly gradual to carve, even especially on soft snow, right? If it was really firm, you're definitely going to get pinged around. But on soft snow, you could kind of gradually eke into a smooth, solid base. Now, are you going to ping every turn? Are you going to get your hip to the ground? No, that'd probably be pretty hard on these. But at least it was a solid enough platform for somebody who's just getting into skiing. You can at least still carve on these. I think where this ski really shines though is in those washed out turns, in having a fairly lightweight ski that you can kind of wash out, in having a nice easy quick turn when you go off trail or in the moguls. Like, all in all, you're getting a pretty good value when you're paying this little. That being said, it is a bummer to see the Horizon Tech go away. I think a lot of the people that this ski is advertising towards is those freestyle skiers who aren't taking advantage of that Horizon Tech, so maybe it doesn't matter for them. But as far as like, for me, skiing out in Idaho, I would rather probably spend a little bit extra money to get that Atomic Bent 90. But all in all, I gotta say, I'm pretty amazed they're able to put out a half decent ski for this little money. Now that we talked about the good, let's talk about some of the drawbacks, because a ski this cheap is bound to have drawbacks. Now, the first drawback is there's not much ski to stand on. It's very narrow, it's not very stiff, it's not like a carving ski where you can really build a platform and stand on it. It cuts out the Horizon Tech, like I said, there's no TI in it. And at what point do you just say, we're gonna go with a Maverick 88 or a Bent 90? And I think that this ski, when you start to look at value, the overall value of the Bent 90 is higher. It's not much more expensive. You know, right now, you would spend maybe an extra 70, 80 bucks to get a Bent 90. I think that money is well spent, especially if you care about carving, especially if you want to go off trail and enjoy the Horizon Tech. Now, if you're just a freestyle skier and you're going to beat the snot out of these on a rail, yeah, this probably is a better value for you. But for the average skier who wants to start going off trail, who wants to like get a decent platform when you carve, these are just so thin that they really sink into the snow, especially on the West Coast. And they're so lightweight and so pingy, I wouldn't want them on the East Coast. So for me, I'd rather spend my money on a Maverick or a Bent 90. I think overall the value is better, even though they're slightly more expensive. And that's how you know this isn't a sponsored video. Because for me, I would go and buy a different pair of skis. But for the right person, for the right kind of introduction, you want to just kind of dip your toes in, at least it's something for you. At least it's got any kind of platform. There are other skis out there that when you go to stand on the downhill ski, there's really nothing. There's something, but not much. What was the other note I had? If you like carving, you're gonna find that the Bent series really needs that width to get the shape on edge effectively. When you get this narrow with the Atomic Bent series, there really isn't a very smooth gradual turn. The Bent platform in general really relies on that width to kind of make the proper shape to get you the gradual turns. This is more like wash up and you can kind of stand on the downhill ski. There's not much there. For some people, they may not be powering through their turns, so that may not matter. But if you're somebody who's like intermediate or above, just spend a little bit extra and get yourself the Bent 90. If this is your first ski and you just really want to dip your toes in and see if you like it, you want to try a little bit of everything, maybe you have aspirations of being a freestyle skier, maybe you want to do a little bit of mogul and off-trail skiing, this works. But if you're planning on doing the sport for another 2-3 years, or you're kind of looking farther down the line, then the Bent 90 is going to give you more value. This is a fine first ski. It'll work great for you. And if you don't care about carving, you just want to get up there and have fun, you can totally make these work. This is not a bad ski by any means, but it is just so bare bones that if you're gonna do a lot of skiing, you wanna get better, you wanna improve, the Bent 90 is just a better platform to do that. So what would I give these for a score? Honestly, if these were in a vacuum, they're probably like a 6.2, 6.5, somewhere in there. I mean, they're decent, they get the job done. I've skied on worse skis. I'd rather be on these than, you know, some of the Armadas I tried. What was it, like the ARV? Or I'd rather be on this than probably even a Faction. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably rather be on these than whatever the Faction was that I skied on. I think it was a Dancer 2. But I think that it's probably closer to a 7, 7.1, 7.3 if you consider the value. How cheap these are. I mean, you're talking, what, like a third of an Atomic Bent 110 or 120 or 100? You're talking a third of what most other skis go for. So I think you can't ignore the value here. These are very, very affordable skis, especially on sale. But they're just lacking a lot of features that Atomic does really well. The Horizon Tech, the nice kind of gradual width and shape the ski makes when you get on a Maverick or a Bent 90 and higher. So I think it's really lacking a lot of what Atomic does well. I don't know, price kind of goes in its favor. So for me, honestly, thinking about anyone who would want to buy these, I think it's a 7.3. But really try to look farther down the road as far as how much time you want to spend skiing, how interested you are, because I really think just spend the extra 70 bucks, get yourself the Bent 90, you're getting a lot more bang for your buck. But if you're looking for the absolute cheapest ski and just want to see if you even like the sport, this is not a bad introduction. All in all, I'm impressed you get this much ski for the money. I just think at this point, if you're not a freestyle skier, you might as well just get the Bent 90. You get more platform, and you get horizon tech, you get a better shape. You're getting way, like I said before, you're getting way more bang for your buck. But if you're somebody who's really new, you're gonna take these freestyle skiing, you don't care about how they float in the powder. Horizon tech is basically like a boat hole that kind of rounds off the edges. This doesn't have that. So it allows it to kind of float better than you might expect. I'm sure it's not very effective in the 85 width, or at least with this shape. So I get why they did that. But I think that if you care about powder, you care about off trail, you care at all about even having some kind of carving platform, go with the Bent 90. But if you don't care about that, you like washing out your turns, you care about freestyle, this is a great option. You might as well save the money if you're not going to use those things. But just now you know, who is this Bent 85 actually for? And is it worth your hard-earned money? So anyway, that's the end of the review. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. If you're on the fence about buying the Bent 85 or any other bent ski or whatever, any other ski and this helped you with your purchase, please consider using the affiliate links down below. That's a free way to support the channel, but only if you're buying skis anyway. I don't push people into buying skis. I don't really care, to be honest. And the nice thing with the affiliate links is it doesn't cost you anything, and whatever ski you buy, it's the same percentage. So I don't know, I just feel like that keeps everything pretty honest. That's just how I feel about it. I don't take money from this brand or any brand, and because I don't like reviews where people are paid for them. It seems silly. It just seems like at that point, why make the review? So that's how I feel about it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to support the channel, you can also like and subscribe. We have tons of content every week, from ski reviews to answering people's questions. You can also become a member if you want your questions answered. That's a really good way to do that. But more than anything, just thanks for being here. Thanks for taking time out of your day to watch my ski reviews. It means a ton to me that you guys do that. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.